You know what this means? That's right. Time for Grim Workshop. All right, and as you can see, we do have our Grim Workshop Tool of the Month Club. For those of you that don't know, maybe you're new here, maybe you've never seen this before, but this is a monthly EDC type tool. You've got a lot of things that come in this package. You've got, you've got credit card size tools, you've got dog tag tools, you've got just a wide variety of tools that come in here. So, all right, so first up, we have our card. It tells us what we're going to get. Okay, there's it's $20 a month. So it's pretty cheap for what you, and you're always going to get, if you were to buy this stuff individually, you're always going to pay more than what you pay here. And you always get this little packaging popcorn in your envelope. All right, so let's get on to this. So let's see here. We're going to start with our tip cards. So you do get tip cards in this. You're going to get 2 tip cards. These are the size of like playing cards. The back side just has their logo. Front side has some information. The old ones were a lot better, but I beat that horse. Hopefully they'll go back to them. Okay, so the first up, you do have what is how to make paperclip lockpicks. This tip card gives you helpful information on how to pick a lock with a paperclip. Each tip card is weatherproof and completely waterproof, blah, blah, blah. It says all the time. Basically, you know what? I don't see how that's really going to work, but okay. You got some pretty crazy turns in there, but maybe. But yeah, card 119. There you go. This MSRP is for $1.85. Again, that's almost $2 out of our 20. So we're down to 18. Next up, we have foot hygiene. And this one just like a little write-up. This tip card gives you helpful information on taking care of your feet to prevent serious foot problems. And for those of you that have ever been in the military, your feet are your lifeline. Yeah. You got to take care of your feet. So, yeah, pretty good information on that one. Pretty good stuff. That one also 185. So now we'll say 350. So we're down to like we need what 1650 to make up our value. All right. Next up, we're gonna start with the next one, which is $9.50. And this is pretty cool. This is an emergency signal dog tag. And I like this one. This is, I get the cello wrap open. This is pretty cool here. Now the cool thing, so the dog tags, they used to come with a long dog tag as well. The long chain, like this. They used to come with this long chain. Now they just come with the short one, which is fine. So you get a silencer for your dog tag, and you get the small chain to go through the loop there. This one is pretty cool. Basically, we have a reusable glow light. So, right there, charge that up. It's going to glow at night. And if it's really dark, that thing's going to stick out. We're going to let this definitely charge up, and then we're going to go outside tonight, and we'll do a little follow-up short, and we'll see how well that works at night. So, basically, and you come with these little cards that tell you, what it is. Oh yeah, and you also get members only discount. My spool micro tool. So you buy one get one for, so you get like codes too. So you get like free stuff or discounts. Grimm's reusable glow tools come with our custom designed reusable glow material, which essentially turns your tool into a reusable glow stick. This tool can be charged by the sun or by a flashlight and other man-made light source. 30 minutes direct sunlight will result in an 8 to 10 hour glow time. 30 minutes in the sun. We'll put that to test tonight. We'll see how well. Can be supercharged by putting it close to a very bright light or flashlight for a few seconds. To get the bright glow, it lasts for a few minutes and slowly dissipates. This can be used for prolong the life of a flashlight in an This can be used to prolong the life of a flashlight in an emergency. Turn the flashlight on, charge the glow tool for about 5 seconds, and then get a bright glow for about 5 minutes. Okay, that's pretty cool. And this goes for $9.50. I mean, it's glow tape, but still, you know, so you pretty much, you know, you supercharge it by, I'm holding it up to the light bulb right now. You supercharge it by holding it to a bright light. And then, oh yeah, you can already kind of see the glow right there. I don't know if you can see it, but I can. There you go. That's pretty cool. Now, and the thing is this, right? If you have this on a dog tag, or if you have a piece of 550 cord or something, you can tie this off, and if you swing this, you're gonna have that. You're gonna have a circle of light, so you can be found. So that's pretty dang cool right there. $9.50. So we're gonna add that. So we were at $3.50. Add the 50. That brings us to 4, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's $13. $13 you would have spent on the tip cards and that alone, and we haven't even gotten to the big boy, and that is this. We have the Grimm hand fishing card. Now, according to the card here, there's like 2 models. According to the card here, there's 2 models. And this one, MSRP's for, drum roll please, I flipped it, $19.95. So right there, that's your $20. So you take the $19.95, you see, so $14. You save $14 by getting the monthly subscription. I don't work for Grimm Workshop, but that seems like a pretty good deal to me. And basically what you have here is a hand caster. So we did get the, if you recall, a few months ago, well, sometime earlier on this year, we did get the dog tag hand caster, the dog tag size. And then, of course, we have the dog tag hooks. So, that was pretty cool. I was happy to get that. But this one is even better. Because this is your credit card size one. So, this will fit in a wallet. And if you notice here, it comes with some lures. So you add those to your hooks. So, let's see here. The Grimm hand fishing card is designed to operate both as a fishing line spool and an interdependently operating hand fishing reel. 2 different designs are available, complete with selection of lures attached to it. The tool is the same size as a credit card, blah, 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 blah. All that says those all the time. So, and then basically right here, if you notice right here, we have this white strip right here. Well, on the underside of these, you have the black strip. So basically, it's like, you take these out, you can put them back on. Now, all you really have to do with that is, and this is what I really do like about Grimm Workshop a lot. Let's see if no, that's the wrong one. So really, right, if you take, so if you take this hand casting reel right here, and you pair it up with this one here that has all these hooks on it, you have a whole fishing system right there. Because here you have hooks. You've got what they call weights. They're little tiny, things there. Yeah, it'll help it cast out. And then you have your lures right there. So as you bring it in, you're going to get that reflection for the fish to latch onto. Right there, boom. You put that in somewhere, you have like a whole fishing kit. Just like that. Is it going to be the comfortable, the most comfortable fishing kit? No. But this one is still a lot more comfortable than the, and, you can hang on to it. So, and you notice here, you got 4 places to tie your line off at. So, like, you tie it off here, and then you can twist it around. Of course, you cast it out. You got to undo the line in order to get your lures off, but what you do even better yet, you take like this Bob Hansler card, which I really love, and you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You got 12 fish hooks, and you have you have 13 fish hooks, and you have an additional four lures on that too. This right here, plus you have the knife, not very sharp yet, but you can sharpen that up. Now that right there, that gives you a complete fishing kit, because now you can catch it, and then you can able to clean it with your little knife there. So it's pretty cool. $19.95. I think it's worth it. All this stuff is really cool. It is designed for EDC type stuff. You carry this around with you. You can, it's already dissipated because we didn't hold it that long. But so basically, we got our emergency light right here. This year we got this one, which is like magnesium type bar. We've gotten a ferro rod. We've gotten here's some snare triggers, and these are just in the dog tag size stuff. So we've gotten a lot of good stuff from Grim Workshop. I'm really, really happy with this subscription. We're gonna leave this one out. We'll put this one away later because tonight I'm gonna do a short. I'm gonna go find somewhere really dark, and we're gonna just see just how bright that sucker gets. But I do recommend this. I recommend Grim Workshop. I don't work for them. I get nothing. If you subscribe or not, it does not make it. It doesn't affect me in the least. I'm not an affiliate. But I think that there's a lot of good stuff to be. Here's we've got all kinds of information cards already. Shoot, that's like a small deck of cards. You put that in one of these tins too. And now you have a library of information. It's like, oh, okay, okay. Let me see here. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, reverse. Okay, reverse cordage wrap. All right, I need that so I can make some cordage. A lot of cool information here, and it's like, and if you don't need it, you don't have to pack it. And then, as always, I do like to keep the information cards as well, so that I know what each thing does. I put that in this. Basically, this thing right here is pretty much almost all of my Grim Workshop is right in here. So this little pouch here has just got hundreds of pieces of survival tools in it. In here, right here, fish hooks, needles, snares, knives, saws. You got foraging tools, tick removers. Fire starters, all kinds of stuff, just in that little package right there. All because of the Grim Workshop. Pretty good. It's a fun subscription, and it really, $20 a month. You're gonna hardly notice $20 a month, even in today's horrible economy. So, let's see here. Which is a heck of a lot better than it was a year ago. But at least now I'm not paying under $3 a gallon for gas, but the economy is still not in the best of shape. So see right there, you got the silencer around it. And look at that. It fits on there just perfectly. Yep. So, yeah. And part of the reason why I do what I do is because the economy is so terrible that I just got a feeling eventually we're just going to crumble. I think that I've said it once, I've said it twice. I don't know how many times I've said it, but I think that the two most realistic SHTF scenarios that we will have to face are zombies and a meteor strike. I'm just kidding. No, but but seriously, we're looking at either like a socioeconomic collapse where it's like the economy just gets so bad that in order to survive, we have to start going back to the old ways because we can't afford everything. So, kind of like an economic, collapse, a second Great Depression possibly. We're coming up on the 100-year mark when we had the Great Depression, and, we're living pretty extravagantly right now, just like they were in the Roaring 20s. So, I'm just saying, it's and history does repeat itself if you don't correct course. So there's a possibility that we could have like a depression, a socio-economic collapse, and then of course the other one that I think is also very realistic and is feasible to happen is that there is massive cyber attacks, and a few cyber attacks shuts down our infrastructure, and then I mean, people go crazy if Facebook goes down for 20 minutes. Shoot, when TikTok was down for what, a day, everybody was going crazy. Imagine if that happens, and it's not just 20 minutes, it's not just a day. Let's say that it's the internet. We don't have any internet for a week, 2 weeks. People are going to start losing their minds. And what if it's worse? What if they what if there's a cyber attack and it hits the electrical grid? Well, now you don't have electricity. People are going to start losing their minds. And so, and in all honesty, I think that, if you really think about it, those are the two most realistic scenarios that I see. I wish it was zombies, but, that's not happening. But actually, I don't wish it was zombies, but I hope that none of it happens. But but hoping hoping is great, but you still have to prepare, and that's why it's like preppers get like it's if you see you just watch Doomsday Preppers, and a lot of preppers get a really bad rap because they think of they're just these whack jobs. But preparing isn't like it, but it's not like that. You don't have to be a Doomsday Prepper. It's like, look, hey, if you just start with like a few simple tools, cutting tool, cordage, tarp and all that stuff, but if you're like in the city, it's like, well, sorry about that. But if you're in the city, the water could, there could be a problem with the water lines, the electricity. Roads could get shut down, stores could shut down. There could, we could have another supply chain crash. Preparing doesn't mean you have to go crazy. Preparing means it's like, okay, what's a realistic scenario? Okay, well, the supermarkets might not get food. So what do? You set aside 3 days worth of food for you and your family. 3 days of water for you and your family. Just in case. If you don't need it, great. But, natural disasters do happen. A lot of times you might get displaced for just, and you might need that. You might just need a few days to get by before, everything comes back to normal. And so that's kind of where prepping starts. And then, in all honesty, personally, I recommend a minimum of a month just in case. Because, another realistic scenario is, hey, you don't get paid. You might lose a job for a few weeks and have to find another job. Well, if you at least have a month's worth of food and extra water on hand, primarily food in this scenario, but if you have like a month's worth of food, well then at least you don't have to go shopping. So the money that you do have can be allocated to stuff that you can't get around, electricity, your rent or your mortgage. So you can take care of like those critical needs. And you don't have to go out and go crazy and buy a month's worth all at once. It can be slow. It's like every time you go to the supermarket, if you normally go through like, a 6-pack of corn, a 6-pack of green beans, and a 6-pack of peas every month, you know what? Buy an extra few cans. Buy when you go to the store, the first month buy an extra case of corn, an extra case of green beans, an extra case of green. So now you have those vegetables in the cabinet, and then every month, then after that, you're just buying one every month, and now you always have a month's worth of vegetables on hand. It's that simple, Tuna, if you normally go through like 4 cans of tuna a month, it's just a general rule. Buy 8, so you have that extra 4 cans in there. Rice, dry beans, there's a lot of stuff that you can purchase, and when you purchase like rice and like say like pinto beans or something, do the bulk ones where you scoop it into a bag yourself, because if you notice, you save about 10 cents per pound on that. So there's a lot of ways that you can save money, and you can slowly build up a good stack of emergency food. And that's what prepping is all about. These tools are good and all, but and if you're somewhere where you can fish, this hand reel is going to be great for you, because you can go out, you can fish, even if you don't have a fishing rod. Well, now you can watch videos on YouTube, and you can learn how to hand cast. So, and to me, that's what prepping is all about. And these tools, these micro tools, are fantastic because they're not expensive, but these are really the okay 72 hours type tools. Okay, yeah, I can fish for a few days with this hand reel. So you have food for a few days. Okay, well now everything's back to normal. You put your hand reel up. And that way you don't have to spend a lot of money on expensive fishing rods and fishing poles. You don't have to spend a lot of money on expensive knives. You got the knives that come with the Grim Workshop cards. You sharpen those up, and if all you're doing is skinning fish, you're gutting fish, maybe a quail or a dove or something, but you have the basics that you need. Oh, we have to start a fire. Okay, well, we have this mini ferro rod. Okay, yeah, and it shows you how to use it too. You can look up how to use it. So you have you can get a lot of good small tools with Grim Workshop without breaking the bank. That's all I'm saying. $20 on Grim Workshop, and an extra $20 a month, $25 a month maybe on food and water, and you can be prepared too. And you don't have to go crazy. You don't have to be like, oh, I need to have I need to have night vision, and I need to have 85 M4s and shit well, you can't get M4s, but AR-15s and stuff. You don't have to go crazy like that to prepare for you and your family. That's what it comes down to. That's what prepping really is. It's not about fear. It's just about, okay, you know what? We saw what happened when the supply chains could not fulfill mission. When they couldn't Charlie Mike, you know what? When they could not continue mission, the shelves got empty. Look what happened with the toilet paper apocalypse, and that so, and this is just what I do. And you can, whenever we buy toilet paper, we get it from Sam's Club, so we pay a little bit less. We buy the big, the 45 rolls, right? They come in 5 rolls of 9 or whatever, something like that. But basically, there's 6 rolls of 9, something like that. 6 times 9 is 40. Right? No, that's it. Whatever. So basically, what I do is I take one of those 9 packs, I put it in the closet, and then the rest of the toilet paper gets us through the month. And we buy another one. I take one of those and I put it in the closet. So, and if you do that, one, all you're doing is just you're very, very strategically, you are putting the stuff that you need aside so that you're prepared. That's what prepping is. So, right, that's it for this video. I know that I kind of rambled on, but I've been wanting. I wanted to talk anyway because I like to talk. But that's it. That's it for your Grim Workshop. I really like this one, a hand caster, and essentially what looks like to be a pretty good little glow light there. I think it's pretty good stuff. We're gonna let that sit out in the sun for 30 minutes, and then tonight, when it gets dark, I'm gonna turn on the camera. We're gonna see how it is. It'll just be a short, it'll load up probably before this video goes up, but that's what it is. That's how I do videos, But I'll probably put that one on TikTok or Instagram or something like that. But all right, until next time, keep prepping, guys.